The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, says President Bola Tinubu is sincere to Nigerians and the labor unions in alleviating the hardship being faced in the country. Idris made this known during his address at the business lunch organized for him and other ministers by the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN, in Abuja. He said during the recent negotiation with labor union, the government's delegation had to get back to the president when labor unions were adamant that the least they would take is 40,000 naira.
But when we started negotiation with labor said, look, we can't take anything. Sorry, no, not the 15 million families, the what they call the wage award. Labor said the lowest it would take is 40,000 naira. After forth and back, we spent 2 hours on that. And then we decided, because we wanted to be truthful and to be honest to Nigerians, we decided that the Minister of Finance, the National Security Advisor, and the Chief of Staff to the President should go back to the President and discuss this matter with him before we continue negotiation. And it happened. We went back to him. Mr. Wale Adun was asked to run the numbers. He did. He had to also call, of course, the Accountant General. And government felt it was comfortable that 35,000, that means addition of 10,000 naira would be given. The numbers were run. And the president said, look, if we can pay, please pay. But if you know we can't pay, don't go and promise. Now, what that tells me is that the president himself is actually very sincere about his intention to make this wage increment to labor. And so even when we came back, labor as usual was still doubting the sincerity of that. But we were able to hold them to say, look, we will do this one. And then so many others, every aspect of the 15 points we discussed and signed with labor were actually things that we had agreed that we could do. I'm bringing these points to tell our colleagues that, to me, honestly, I feel that it is a responsibility that I have to say it as it is. Sometimes it may be embellished, but it will still be the truth. The truth can be said in a way, a manner that can be palatable. And I keep saying, let the cup always be half full than half empty. It is possible to provide Nigerians with credible information, with honest information, without actually telling lies. The issue of the coverage of the villa, and that is tied to the comments by the president of the guild about people being taken out of the villa or restricted to cover the villa. I want to remind you that that one happened before I was appointed Minister of Information, number one. Number two, when it happened, and you drew my attention, and some other colleagues drew my attention, I went to those that took that decision. But I don't think that people should be chased out of the villa if they are doing their jobs genuinely. For all of them that are doing genuine jobs that have been asked to leave the villa, I assure you that they will return to the villa. I have taken this up. The president of the guild has been talking to me about that. I told him he should give me some time. Let it not be like we are reversing certain things, but we will get them back in the villa. I assure you that it will happen. Nobody will leave the villa if he or she is actually doing his job.
In same vein, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Mr. Adeleke Alake, said it was regrettable that the society was filled with fake information. Earlier, while some members of NPAN advocated for revival of National Orientation Agency and the restructure of national broadcasting, others complained that the media was shocking and needed help, incentives, and press freedom.
The society today is suffused with a lot of false information. Now, those of us in the serious genre of journalism have a duty not to join the crowd to purvey falsehood all over. There's so many of our citizens who are not as knowledgeable or as educated or as enlightened or as exposed. So whatever they see or pick up in the media, they accept as gospel truth, whereas a substantial percentage of this is false. And they absorb it like that and believe it wholeheartedly, and some become highly emotional on falsehood. There are so many narratives out there that are simply not true. But, you know, maybe for the desire to be salacious or to sell and all of that, we carry on. But they do damage, incalculable damage to the psyche and mental health of the society. And not only that, they also add to desecrating our values. So I say that those of us in the serious aspect of journalism have an onerous duty to keep on educating the rest. Analytical mind is what I find very lacking even in our profession. I could also be guilty of that. We are also guilty by association, if not individually. People just see information and accept it without subjecting it to critical analysis and appraisal.
Business Lunch attracted personalities from the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Nigerian Guild of Editors, members of NPAN, and many others from across the country.